I love giving gifts for my family that are really from the heart. So when I saw this Hello Kitty planter, I thought that'd be perfect for my daughter. It's her birthday. And so I found a matching succulent from Walgreens of all places. So I got the planter from Ross and I got the plant from Walgreens. And then the other pot over there is from the Dollar Tree. So is the black plate. So I got a pink Easter cactus and I got a red one. And then I was trying to figure out which one is going to be for her, which one's going to be for me. And I decided to give her the red one because it matches the Hello Kitty pot. And I kept the pink one for myself. I also had some other up potting to do. So I went ahead and I was preparing things all at once. My husband went and got me a bunch of soil from a garden center. And so it was a really good deal. It was, I want to say it was like $32 for like a ton of soil, like not like literal ton, but like a lot of soil. So I was using the Dollar Tree pot right there. It was $5, and I also was potting up some native plants that I actually had from like last year that have literally been living in a plastic bag that I threw some soil and wood chips in. And I was like, you know what? It doesn't really know the difference and it survived. I actually had several. So I thought, you know what, now's the time to go ahead and pot them up and give them a better home. And they're going to be super happy with this. But I'm actually using that little tiny, and it's actually a kid's toy. It comes in handy with the small containers and for mixing and stuff. So I was like, you know what, let me just mix this up a little bit in here, make the tote a little bit lighter. I was actually using the larger tote there, the larger pot as a container to mix the soil together. And I wanted to add a little bit of perlite to make it a little bit lighter and not so like compact, which is really not good for succulents. They like to have a little bit more airy. Um, you don't want them to be like waterlogged, which is what usually happens if you have a really thick soil. And this soil is pretty thick. I don't think it's broken down all the way, but I know it's going to be fine because I've done this before with this bulk soil. And so I went ahead and I actually took two pots to put inside the other pots because in case they were to be overwatered, then you can just pull the inside pot out, let it drain out, rinse out the inside container and so forth, and then you're good to go. So with house plants, I like to double pot them. I know that might sound kind of excessive, but if you're able to buy pots from like the Dollar Tree or something, it's definitely worth it. So I did find that black liner that I got for free actually. I went to a garden center and they had an area which had like a bunch of empty containers that were for free. And so that black pot was actually free. And as I'm up potting, I'm just like gently filling in. I kind of like used the pot inside the other pot and to kind of like measure how far I would actually need to add soil. And that method really works very, very nicely. Um, I've seen people do other ways where like they fill it in and then they pull it out and then they put it back in again. And you know what? This is actually easier. So I wasn't like trying to like go ta-da, but really just showing the method and holding this in place. You can actually do this, one-handed, which I'm doing. It's easier if you're not holding a camera, obviously, so that you can actually do it with just two hands. It will go faster for you. Um, but it was worth it. Like it's like the succulents now are more expensive. I remember when they used to sell Easter cactus and Christmas cactus for like $5.99. It's definitely more than that now, but it's still a good deal. These things live forever and you can propagate them very easily. You can gently twist off a leaf, stick it down in the soil, and it will grow roots. You can also put them in water. I like to use like a little shot glass and just put a tiny bit of water in the bottom. And I just put like maybe 20, 25 leaves in there. And almost all of them, I'd say at least 80% of them will grow roots, if not all of them. So I was kind of measuring there. And then there is a tiny little hole in the bottom that you can pop the little plastic piece out. But I thought, you know what? Even better would be to add some rocks for drainage. Because even though I'm going to put a plate underneath this, And it could get a little bit waterlogged, and I just don't want this plant to rot. These are succulents, and one of the nice things about giving a plant to a family member or a friend as a gift is if you're giving them a succulent, they can they thrive a little bit on neglect actually. So, but if a person overwaters them, that's where you're going to have the doom. The doom effect is going to be if they overwater. So that's why I kind of went with a little abundance of caution. Now, the pink one on the right hand side, those are two Dollar Tree pots. I did the brown barrel one on the inside and then the blue one on the outside. And the blue one doesn't have drainage holes. So it's perfect and it pulls out so nice. So like if you do the brown barrel one inside of the blue one, it sticks out just a little bit so you can grab it and pull it out really, really easy. I'm honestly going to probably go back to Dollar Tree and buy a bunch more of the brown barrels and the blue pots because I think they look really sharp together. I might even grab some black pots because the brown barrel ones, they match really nicely with black, but also I kind of like the blue and the brown together. So here I am. I'm actually getting to those $5 pots I got from Dollar Tree. And I do have some plants here that I got from a native plant sale last year, actually. And they were a really good deal. I had to wait in line for like 3 hours to get them. I mean, I'm not kidding. It was a really long line. But of course, I didn't pre-order. If you pre-order your native plants, the sale goes by really fast. You can just walk up to the booth and you say, "Hey, my name's so and so. Here's my receipt, whatever. This is what I bought," and they'll already have it ready for you. But I didn't pre-order, so I had to wait in line forever. And then I bought a lot of stuff, and I didn't transplant everything in a timely manner. Luckily for me, my plants survived. So what I actually have here are they're twin berries, and I either have 4 or 5 black. I think they're black twin berries. Um, and I'm buying them for the birds. I'm not buying them for myself, really, but more for like native landscaping. And I'm gonna place them out past the fence, kind of closer to the curb. I'm also like trying not to have to compete with the grass. So by planting in containers, I won't have to um, I won't have to weed as much. I'm still gonna have to weed because the weed seeds are everywhere. But I thought it would be nice for the birds. So I'm gonna actually place these out where I keep my bird feeders. So when they produce if they produce any fruit, it will be for the birds because these are native plants. And then so I did decide, oh, I do have a red flowering currant in one of them. So I have the black twin berries, and then I also have a red currant, and I decided to utilize that space around them by using the gladiolas. Now, I did a lot of transplanting. I did so much transplanting, and I want to keep my little seedlings warm. So I use like these little shower caps. They're basically shower caps, but they go over like a food container. They're from the Dollar Tree, and that will work out really nicely. So everything worked out. I'm so sorry, you guys. Like I have muscles that are sore that I didn't even know I had. So yeah, I'm super sore today. It's actually like kind of painful walking around, but it's a good kind of pain. It's like after going to the gym. So I got a lot done. I got the gift ready for my daughter for her birthday. I transplanted a bunch of native plants. I actually did about 10 to 12 hours outside in the garden, moving and mixing soil, transplanting all of the twin berries and the red flowering currants, as well as the gladiolas. And then I also, and you can't really, I didn't do justice showing you all the different containers that I planted, but I planted several different types of beans, different kinds of squash, a couple melons, a bunch of different kinds of greens like red Malabar spinach, some from my own garden that I saved, some from seed packets. I had a bunch of containers that were basically prepped last year that I didn't get around to planting. So I planted just a ton of them. My plan is I'm trying to find some kind of cheap, clear plastic totes that I can put my young starts in as like a makeshift greenhouse. My plan is just to do that for about a month. And then before the temperature gets really hot, I would take them out and then rinse out those containers and put those into storage because I don't want them to get brittle and fall apart, which is what the clear The clear plastic breaks down really fast, but that's in the sun exposure. It's in heat and sun. So I plan on using them as a little greenhouse. But I went to Home Depot or Lowe's. It was Lowe's. And the containers were like $15 or $16 for one. So I'm going to keep my eyes out and see if I can find something a little bit cheaper. And then I plan on getting like a dozen or more of them and then stacking them up, like maybe 3 high. So I will be able to fit a lot of starts into that. So I'm really excited about getting those started, and I will update you later. I have a seed haul video coming up pretty soon. If you want to comment, like, subscribe. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I really love how the Hello Kitty plant and planter came out. I actually really love the one I made for myself too. I did mine on the cheap. My planter cost like $2.50. The one I got for my daughter was quite a bit more, but it's really super cute. So hopefully you enjoy this. Be good, be sweet, grow a garden if you want to eat, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!